And what if the behaviors you struggle with most in your child, the defiance, the tantrums, the stubborn refusals, are actually about something hidden deep inside you and not about your child at all? Why do certain actions trigger emotions so overwhelming that you barely recognize yourself? Carl Jung profoundly stated, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." Nowhere does this truth strike more deeply than in the intimate challenges of parenting. Consider Sarah's experience. Sarah is patient, caring, and nurturing most days, but each time her 5-year-old daughter openly defies her, Sarah feels an unexpected surge of anger, a fury disproportionate to her daughter's actions. She finds herself yelling and then is flooded with guilt and confusion. Why did I react so intensely? She asks herself repeatedly. But the uncomfortable truth lies beneath the surface. Sarah's intense reaction isn't really about her daughter's defiance, it's about something much deeper and much older. Sarah's own hidden childhood pain. Memories of feeling powerless, unheard, and unseen are buried deep within her subconscious. Jung called this hidden emotional storage the shadow, the unconscious part of us that houses feelings we'd rather deny. Here's a surprising fact backed by psychological research. Parents who regularly experience intense emotional reactions toward common child behaviors are usually projecting unresolved emotional wounds from their own past onto their children. These hidden projections become endless cycles of conflict, frustration, and emotional distance unless recognized and addressed. But here's the extraordinary possibility hidden within this uncomfortable truth. Your child's most challenging behaviors might be their greatest, albeit unintended, gift to you. By holding up a mirror, they invite you to confront and heal your shadow, liberating you both from patterns of misunderstanding and resentment. Jung wisely cautioned, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Imagine how profoundly your family could transform if parenting became a journey of self-awareness rather than a battle of wills. Yet recognizing your child's shadow behavior is just the beginning. Hidden even deeper lies your own wounded inner child, and leaving it unresolved could shape your family's emotional landscape for generations. Think honestly for a moment. Have there been times when your child's behavior revealed something unexpected about you? Share your story in the comments below, and together, let's take the courageous step toward emotional honesty and transformation. What if the greatest gift you could give your child isn't about directly changing them, but about healing yourself first? It might feel counterintuitive because parenting advice traditionally centers around shaping your child. Yet unresolved wounds from your childhood don't simply vanish. They silently shape your reactions, discipline choices, and expressions of love. Take Michael's story. Michael genuinely loves his son, but each time the boy shows emotional vulnerability, Michael feels inexplicable irritation and resentment. Why can't he toughen up? He wonders impatiently. Beneath Michael's frustration lies his own hidden wound, a childhood filled with harsh judgment, where expressing emotions was considered weak, shameful, and unsafe. Unconsciously, Michael is passing down the very belief he suffered from, that vulnerability is dangerous. Recent psychological studies confirm a striking truth. Approximately 75% of parents unknowingly transfer unresolved childhood wounds onto their own children, perpetuating generational cycles of emotional pain. Carl Jung warned, "The greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of its parents." Unless these hidden emotional wounds are acknowledged and healed, parents unintentionally pass their emotional inheritance down to their children. But here's the hopeful truth. Confronting your inner child, the part of you that holds memories of hurt, neglect, and misunderstanding, frees you from these unconscious patterns. Suddenly, parenting becomes not just about raising your child, but raising yourself as well. Imagine how your life might transform. When your toddler melts down, you no longer feel irritation because you've learned to comfort your own inner child first. When your teenager pushes boundaries, you don't respond with defensiveness. You remember your adolescent struggles and offer empathetic guidance instead. By healing your inner child, you transform parenting from a repetitive cycle of pain into a powerful legacy of emotional intelligence and strength. Yet this healing requires courage, honesty, and profound vulnerability. Jung reminds us, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." By choosing to heal, you reshape not only your parenting, but the emotional legacy your child inherits. But healing your inner child is only part of a deeper journey toward emotional maturity and connection. Because even beyond your own wounds lies another crucial dimension: deeply understanding your child's unique, authentic nature, a nature that might be fundamentally different from your own. Now reflect deeply. Have you experienced emotional triggers in your parenting? What hidden wounds might your child be uncovering in you? Share your story in the comments below, and together let's support one another in the courageous journey toward healing, transforming our parenting forever. Have you ever wondered why your child behaves in ways that seem completely foreign to your own nature? Maybe you're energized by social interactions while your child thrives in quiet solitude. Perhaps you're structured and organized, while your child finds comfort in playful chaos. What if these differences aren't something to fix, but instead profound clues about your child's authentic nature? Carl Jung's groundbreaking work on personality gave birth to the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, a framework that helps us understand the diverse ways people experience and engage with the world. According to Jung, every child naturally sees the world through unique psychological lenses: introverted or extroverted, sensing or intuitive, thinking or feeling, judging or perceiving. Recognizing these innate traits can profoundly reshape your parenting, replacing frustration with empathy and deep acceptance. Consider Emily's experience. Emily, a vibrant, outgoing mother, watched her daughter Sophia quietly withdraw from social events, preferring solitary activities like reading, drawing, and imaginative play. For years, Emily anxiously questioned, "Is something wrong with Sophia? Why isn't she happier around other kids?" Driven by concern, Emily constantly nudged Sophia into social activities and play dates, hoping to coax her out of her shell. Yet each interaction left Sophia exhausted and overwhelmed rather than energized. Emily struggled with confusion and guilt until she discovered Jung's insights into personality types. Suddenly it clicked. Sophia wasn't antisocial or unhappy. She was simply introverted, recharging her emotional batteries through solitude and quiet reflection. Here's an unsettling truth from recent psychological research. Over 40% of children labeled as shy or socially anxious are often misunderstood because their natural temperament is simply introverted. Pushed into social interactions they aren't emotionally equipped for, these children become more anxious, emotionally strained, and feel a constant pressure to conform. But when parents embrace and honor their child's true temperament, these same children flourish emotionally, socially, and academically. When Emily shifted her approach, allowing Sophia the quiet space she needed, something remarkable happened. Sophia began thriving, displaying newfound confidence, creativity, and emotional strength. Emily realized she had spent years unintentionally trying to shape Sophia into someone else's vision. Now, embracing her daughter's authentic nature, their relationship transformed profoundly. Carl Jung beautifully captured this essential truth, stating, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Imagine offering your child this profound gift, the unconditional freedom to become exactly who they're meant to be. But embracing your child's authentic personality is just one step in transforming your family dynamic. Because beneath these visible traits lie hidden generational patterns, silently influencing your parenting style without you even realizing it. And left unexamined, these invisible forces might affect your family deeply and permanently. Reflect deeply now. Have you struggled to understand your child's temperament? Have you learned something unexpected about yourself through their differences? Share your experience below, and together, let's support each other in nurturing the authentic selves of our children. Have you ever caught yourself repeating exactly what you promised you'd never do as a parent, raising your voice, emotionally withdrawing, or repeating harsh disciplinary methods? Why, despite your deepest intentions, do these old patterns stubbornly persist? Carl Jung believed our family histories profoundly shape our unconscious minds, silently steering our emotions, reactions, and parenting styles. Without conscious awareness, we remain trapped, repeating patterns of emotional pain and dysfunction across generations. Consider Jake's story. Jake grew up with a father who was emotionally distant, authoritarian, and cold. He vowed never to replicate that behavior. Yet, as his son grew older, Jake found himself unconsciously withdrawing emotionally each time his authority was challenged. After each heated conflict, Jake felt a profound sense of guilt, shame, and bewilderment, asking himself repeatedly, how did I become exactly like my father, the person I swore I'd never become? Recent psychological studies reveal a shocking fact. Nearly 70% of parents experiencing regular conflict with their children unconsciously revert to parenting behaviors they learned from their own parents, even behaviors they consciously reject. It isn't weakness or lack of love, it's unconscious generational conditioning at work. But Jung offers us a powerful solution. By bringing these invisible patterns into conscious awareness, you regain the power to break free from their control. Jung famously stated, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." With this self-awareness, old patterns lose their power, allowing you to create a healthier emotional legacy for your family. When Jake courageously confronted his unconscious patterns, his parenting transformed. Instead of emotionally withdrawing, he deliberately chose emotional openness, even when uncomfortable. He listened deeply, validated feelings, and actively engaged in conversations with his son. Gradually, the generational grip loosened, and their relationship flourished in ways Jake had previously believed impossible. Breaking generational cycles demands bravery, honesty, and continuous awareness. It involves recognizing when your reactions are unconsciously influenced by past experiences and consciously choosing a different emotional response. Imagine parenting without the invisible chains of the past. Imagine your child experiencing emotional openness, understanding, and genuine empathy, everything you may have longed for in your own childhood. Yet breaking generational patterns is only the beginning of transforming your parenting. Because beyond these unconscious patterns lies another critical dimension, deeply rethinking your approach to discipline, not through punishment and fear, but empathy and emotional connection. Reflect deeply now. Have you recognized unconscious generational patterns influencing your parenting? How are you courageously working to break free? Share your experiences below and let's support each other in building emotionally conscious families, finally free from the invisible chains of the past. Have you ever noticed how traditional discipline methods, shouting, punishment, strict consequences, often fail to produce lasting changes in your child's behavior? Why do we keep relying on techniques that, at best, achieve temporary obedience and, at worst, breed resentment, distance, and emotional withdrawal? Here's a powerful truth you might not have heard before. Carl Jung believed that genuine discipline isn't about punishment or control. It's about empathy, teaching, and understanding. Discipline, at its root, means to teach, not to punish. Yet, somewhere along the way, many parents lost sight of this, confusing discipline with power struggles and punishment. Consider Julia's nightly struggle with her 7-year-old son who refused to clean up his toys. Each evening ended the same way: frustration, yelling, tears, and eventually guilt. Julia was left feeling defeated and bewildered, asking herself repeatedly, why isn't discipline working? Am I failing as a mother? Beneath her frustration lay a hidden fear that she was unconsciously repeating her own mother's harsh disciplinary patterns she once promised herself she'd never replicate. Recent psychological research overwhelmingly confirms a troubling fact. Traditional punitive methods like yelling, threats, and harsh punishments not only fail to improve long-term behavior, but actively damage emotional trust, increase aggression, and diminish emotional intelligence in children. In contrast, empathetic discipline methods, clear communication, emotional validation, and logical consequences delivered calmly and compassionately consistently produced improved behavior, stronger emotional intelligence, and healthier parent-child relationships. When Julia understood this profound insight, she radically transformed her approach. Instead of immediately reacting with anger, she paused, took a deep breath, and gently asked her son why he resisted cleaning up. To her surprise, he admitted he felt overwhelmed and didn't understand exactly how to tidy up effectively. Julia realized she hadn't been teaching, she had only been punishing. Together they developed a simple system to organize toys, calmly discussing expectations. Almost immediately their nightly struggles ceased, replaced by genuine cooperation, mutual respect, and deep emotional connection. Jung captured this beautifully when he said, "Children are educated by what the grown-up is and not by his talk. Discipline with empathy isn't permissive or weak, it's profoundly powerful, demonstrating emotional maturity, modeling genuine accountability, and teaching lifelong lessons through your own example. It aligns your actions with your values, allowing your child to internalize authentic responsibility, not merely fear consequences. Imagine how your own home could transform if discipline ceased to be a power struggle and instead became an opportunity for deeper emotional connection. Imagine discipline built on empathy, mutual respect, and genuine understanding rather than control, punishment, and resentment. Yet empathetic discipline is still only one dimension of creating a deeply conscious parenting style, because beneath everyday discipline lies another profound psychological dimension, a hidden force influencing your child's emotional world in ways you've probably never realized. Understanding this hidden force could change everything. Reflect deeply now. Have traditional discipline methods left you feeling frustrated or confused? Have you experienced the transformative power of empathetic discipline? Share your insights below, and let's together redefine discipline, transforming it from conflict and struggle into a pathway toward genuine emotional connection, maturity, and lasting positive change. Have you ever wondered why certain stories captivate children universally across all cultures and throughout generations? Why do fairy tales, myths, and classic narratives, stories like Cinderella, Harry Potter, or even Star Wars, hold such profound emotional resonance with our children? Carl Jung believed these timeless stories resonate deeply because they tap directly into what he called the collective unconscious, a shared psychological realm filled with universal symbols, archetypes, and narratives. These stories aren't just entertainment, they're powerful emotional blueprints, safely guiding children through life's complex psychological landscape. Fairy tales and myths speak directly to universal emotional truths: fear, courage, jealousy, love, abandonment, and triumph. By symbolically dramatizing these universal emotional experiences, stories provide children with a powerful language to understand their inner emotional world. The stories we tell our children aren't simply imaginary adventures, they are essential psychological tools, helping shape emotional resilience and inner strength. Consider the tale of Hansel and Gretel. On the surface, it's a simple story about two children lost in the woods, but underneath, it profoundly symbolizes every child's deep fears of abandonment, danger, and helplessness, and their inner courage to face those fears. Rather than frightening children, these stories validate their hidden fears, reassuring them, "You are not alone. Others have felt this fear, and they survived." Psychological research strongly aligns with Jung's insights, revealing that children who regularly engage with symbolic stories develop significantly higher emotional intelligence, creativity, and psychological resilience. These stories aren't mere bedtime distractions, they're emotional rehearsals for real-life challenges, helping children safely explore and overcome life's difficulties. Take the global phenomenon of Harry Potter. Why does this story resonate so deeply with millions of children worldwide? because it symbolically dramatizes universal emotional struggles, feeling small against overwhelming odds, confronting inner darkness, and discovering hidden strengths. These aren't merely stories. They are psychological roadmaps helping children navigate life's inevitable emotional complexities. Jung powerfully declared, "Myths are public dreams, dreams are private myths." By sharing fairy tales and myths with your children, you're offering powerful emotional tools, equipping them to face life's struggles with courage, insight, and emotional wisdom. Imagine gifting your child these profound emotional resources, stories that help them understand fears, express feelings, and discover inner strength. Each bedtime story becomes an investment in your child's emotional resilience, preparing them not merely for childhood, but for the complex emotional landscape of life itself. Yet, understanding the psychological power of stories is still only one part of transforming your parenting. To fully achieve a deeply conscious parenting style, you must integrate all these insights, acknowledging your shadow, healing your inner child, embracing your child's true nature, breaking generational cycles, disciplining with empathy, and harnessing the psychological power of storytelling into a cohesive, life-changing parenting approach. Reflect deeply now. Which stories have resonated most profoundly with your child and your family, shaping emotional growth and resilience? Share your experiences below, and let's honor the incredible psychological power hidden within the stories we tell, guiding our children toward emotional maturity, resilience, and profound inner wisdom.